Hello, everyone. Hi, we're just getting ourselves set up and ready to go. Sometimes a technical issues. Hello, everyone. Hi, we're just and I can hear myself. Set up. I can hear myself. Great. And so we're just getting everything ready. I'm super excited to have you all here. We're getting everything streamed through the other platform for those that are going to be sharing with us here. While we're waiting, if you want to put in the comments, I'd love to know what made you come to today's class, today's masterclass webinar. What are you hoping to learn? What do you want to know? Leave a message in the comments so I can say hi and kind of get an idea of where to take you today and what to teach you. I have a plan, but sometimes those plans can change. So I'm just going to wait a few minutes to make sure that we are all ready to go and that we've got everything set up on our other platforms. So to just be a couple of minutes for everything. Okay. Lovely. Okay. I'm just going to put mute for a second and I'll just wait for your comments and let me know what you are here for. All right, lovely, wonderful people. Here we go. Welcome to this webinar. I'm excited to share with you how I've built a successful international business that has impacted thousands without the overwhelm, which is, I think, really important because I've been in overwhelm before. So this webinar, this class, this masterclass is for you. If you are a aspiring conscious person that wants to do more in the world and you're trying to find your purpose and you're kind of like, can I turn that into a business? Is this something that I can already do? Or maybe you already have a business and you are looking to get more clients, or you're struggling a little bit, or you have a business and you're ready for the next level. But really what it is you want to make the world a better place. You're looking for ways to use your gifts and your talents to help others to make money. And whether that's through a service business or a product or or some other way that you want to be able to go out into the world and really share this experience that you have with yourself. I never knew that I would be doing a business and being out helping the world. And so now I'm at a place where, who am I? Melissa Binkley. Who is this person that has created this incredible business that that transforms people's lives and heals the world. Well, I am a soul and business strategist. So I help people both with the strategy of their soul and how to implement in businesses. And that is both businesses for people that are entrepreneurs to large corporations. I've worked with billion-dollar and multi-billion-dollar, million-dollar corporations, and helping them to implement new strategies into their organization. So both soul and business strategy, I believe you have to have both together to really create a world. I have worked and been on stages with and worked in conjunction with programs with amazing people like Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson and Jack Canfield, Lynn McTaggart. Our company has been featured in magazines like Inc. magazine and Authority magazine. We are considered one of the world's leading schools for spiritual alchemy, and we also teach people how to build the business side of their transformational healing businesses. I was considered one of the top 50 female speakers in the world in 2018. And I'm also a big humanitarian. I do a lot of work with trafficking organizations, and I've worked with the heads of states, and I've worked in India and Nepal with really helping these, what do I say, displaces people to heal at a core level. And so I'm here today, and I want to be able to share with you that it doesn't matter where you are in your life, whether you're at this first level and I'm just trying to find my purpose, or you're creating a business or considering how to use your gifts to help others and make money. You have a business, but you're struggling, or you're ready for the next level. So those are like 4 categories. So I'd love for you to share in the comments before we get started so I can get an idea of who's on here and where you're at. Are you at a place where you're just trying to find your purpose? Are you interested in creating a business or considering how to use your gifts and make money? Or do you already have a business, but you're kind of struggling and don't know where to go next? Or are you in a business, you've got a good solid foundation, and you're just ready for the next level? Please share in the comments so that I can get an idea of where everyone is at, like ways to, so that I can get a good idea of where you're at and how I can support you today in doing that. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story as I'm waiting for the comments to come in. I'm going to share with you about how I went from homeless in 2009 to an international organization by 2016. So in 2009, I got fired from my job. I lost my apartment and I lost my partner all within a 6-month time frame. And that ended me in with an eviction notice on my apartment in West Palm Beach, Florida. And I remember that day, coming in and seeing that eviction notice and just dropping to my knees and being like, why? What now? What do I do? I was 5 years out of some of the most challenging times in my life. I was 5 years away from the international drug trafficking. I was 5 years away from the trauma and the things that I'd experienced. And I had really tried for 5 years to do things the right way. I'd gotten the job. I had graduated in 2000, summa cum laude from Ohio State. I was a very smart person. But I had not done anything with that. And so I'd come to this place in 2009, 9 years later, where I was really just questioning my whole life. And I met a woman who, and I was personal training at that time. Once I lost that job, I went back to something that was a passion of mine, which was health and fitness. I was personal training, and I met a woman, and she told me, she's like, you should go to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition to help you with like personal training and nutrition, and do something around that because you really love it. And at that time I was homeless, and instead of using the little amount of money that I was making to pay for a home, I actually signed up for the IIN program. It was a year long at that time, and it was like $5,000, and I paid $500 a month to, I started that program while I was still homeless to start to move, was able to move through. Yes, go Bucks. Was able to start at that school for the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And that really started to change my life. And so I then went from homeless to I ended up having a home. And I spent the next 3 years starting to do health coaching. But what I found was is I was really, really gifted at helping people heal and I was healing, helping them heal on even a deeper level than just food and nutrition. That's where I found out that I had these spiritual gifts and I was helping people to have instantaneous healings. But what I learned in the first 3 years was I had no idea how to run a business. I knew I loved helping people. I was still personal training a little bit. I was doing the nutrition piece. I was doing healings. Like I was doing these things. But 3 years later, I was only making about $33,000 a year. And $33,000 a year when you live in South Florida is not going to get you very far, to say the least. I was not paying my child support at that time. I had a lot of things going on, but I wasn't homeless. So it was definitely a step up from 2009. So 2013, I decided that I really had to learn if I was going to keep doing this, and instead of it being a hobby, and really make some income in my life, that I was going to have to figure out how to run a business. And so I bought a $97 ticket to an event in New York City. And it was one of those where it was $97 and you got the refund, right? Like as soon as you walked in the door. And I literally walked in the door on that Friday and cashed the check on that Friday because I needed that money. And I went to this event in New York City. And I signed up for, it was called Holistic MBA at the time. And I signed up for a business course called Core Training. Good morning, everyone. Called Core Training. And this core training was a 4-month business training program that was $5,000. And in that 4 months, I didn't have $5,000, and it was the deposit was $500. I had to put down in this 3-day event $500, which I didn't have in my bank account. I just cashed a $97 check at this point, just so I could make it through the weekend. And I was staying with a friend in New York City so that I could actually come to this event, and had scraped together all my money to be able to buy the plane ticket to get there. I was staying with a friend. But I knew in my heart that this was going to be something, this is something I needed to do, and it was going to change everything. And so I called my baby sister, who's 8 years younger than me. And I asked her to borrow the $500. I said, hey, can I borrow $500? I want to take this course. I need to learn how to run a business because I've taken all this trainings and health coaching, and I'm now doing spiritual work, and I'm doing these things, and people are having amazing changes in their life, but I'm not reaching enough people, and I'm only making $33,000 a year. It's not, I can't survive, and I don't know what to do. And so she let me borrow the $500, and I went into this course. And in that 4 months, I learned so much about how to run a business that I ended up not only doing the 4-month course, but I signed up for their whole 1-year program, which in the end, because I bought the thing separately, ended up costing me around $20,000. But it was okay because from 2013 to 2014, I tripled my income. I went from $33,000 to over $99,000 in 1 year. So it was my $5,000 that I had invested, which I was at that time was making payments. So it was like $500 a month, right? Wasn't it a good investment for me? It absolutely was. And then I started tripling my income again. And I learned, and from there, I started traveling the world, and going to things like CEO space and business mastery. Business mastery is $10,000 for 5 days. I hired a coach for $50,000. I did, so at that point from 2013 up until now, I've spent over a couple $100,000 in business trainings to learn how to run a successful international business. But it wasn't always that easy. In 2016, I had a whole team. I had really, done a lot of things. I tripled my income, and I had a whole team, and I was doing live events and conferences, and having people come in and come to my events. And then in 2015, late 2015, early 2016, I had a lot of struggles because I realized that I was building my business very patriarchal style, like do. And I had gotten to a point where I was working 7 days a week, and I was paying everyone else but myself. And I was stressed out, and I was starting to get ill again. And I was like, this isn't how I want to actually run a business. So I took all of 2016 and I stepped back. And I stepped back from the business that I had just built in 3 years, that was already super successful. And I said, what do I need to do to run a business that supports me and serves the people that I want to serve, and allows me to not work 60, 70 hours a week? How many people do you know that are entrepreneurs or people that own businesses and they work 60, 70 hours a week, right? Yeah, a lot. And so I was like, no, I want to know how to run a business that doesn't require that. And in 2016, I nearly lost everything. I nearly lost the business. I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars from, some things that didn't go right and some launches. And I had to really restructure it and learn some lessons. And from that was when I created the Academy, the Intuitive Intelligence Academy, opened at the end of 2016. And we offered our first certification and training program, and we started to offer business training. And so today I'm going to tell you about the 3 pillars to having a successful business or purpose driven experience. And if you don't have a business yet, or you're looking into that, you're going to learn some really valuable things about what you can do just to go out and create purpose and help people in your life. So let's see from our comments where some of the people are that we where let's see, we have so Hillis says, I am at a place to get more clients and want to expand into corporate. Leslie says, I have a business, I'm trying to consider how to monetize it. Right. Ingrid wants to know ways to get a business up and running. And Khalid says, I'm starting out a coaching venture. And no one has ever had their own business. And so there's a belief structure around why I can't have a business. Very true. Debbie owns a healing practice, but not a solid income yet. Yeah, that solid, consistent income is really powerful. Colleen says, I am building my hypnotherapy business and looking for ways to stand out and promote my gifts, talents in a unique way. I'm just checking in with my assistant. So, and then let's see. Okay, great. And we have some good mornings. So it sounds like they're starting a life coaching business specializing in spirituality and wellness. Beautiful. Great. So where I'm going to share with you is, I know your soul is calling you to create impact in the world, right? To not only create impact, but do it in a way that allows you to have the life that you desire. What is your lifestyle design? What does freedom look like to you? In order to create a successful business that allows you to have freedom to live the life of your dreams, have profound impact and contribution, there are 3 things that are essential to your growth. And so I want to know for you, what is your why? First off, what is your why? Why do you want to have a business or find your purpose or have a set? What's important about it for you? Not for anyone else, but for you, maybe for you and your family, if that's where you want to go. But this isn't about because I want to help transform the world. I want to help other people. And I want to know what's it going to do for you when you achieve this desire, right? What is it going to do for you? How are you going to have that and create that experience in your life? So, I apologize, 1 second. So when you are creating a successful business or a life wherein your soul is calling you to create impact in the world, there are 3 things that we need to look at, right? One is the actual business training, right? So I told you I went to Institute for Integrative Nutrition and I learned a certification and healing, a certification program for health coaching and healing. But I didn't know how to run a business. So I was able to, and they gave you some techniques. There were some things in there, right? So I was able to, I learned how to create a coaching program and to coach, but I didn't know how to market or to reach my ideal audience or do that. So business training. So one of the things that is pertinent is if you want to move your love of transformation, healing, those types of things into a business, into actual business, then you have to have training. And I call that your masterpiece training. And what do I mean by masterpiece? Well, masterpiece is the impact, right? You're creating an impact. This includes the plan, the structure, the doing, the systems, and the how of sharing your purpose with the world. And that's whether it's through your business, your career, your contribution, right? Even if you don't know what your divine purpose is, the impact you make on people's lives is everlasting. And this is a really yang and male energy that is needed to discover your purpose and create the structure and the way and the plan to create more impact in the world, your community, or your family, or your business, or your career. And things like this that are included in that is how to find your tribe, right? How to create your message, how to speak or do events, or how to create your program or your product. I've worked with people in creating what we call their sacred process, or their product. I have 2 clients currently that have amazing products that, like, one does spiritual prescriptions where it's herbs, and they grow herbs and they package them, and they do this, and they create spiritual prescriptions that go along with their coaching programs, their healing and spiritual development programs with that. And so they actually have a product. I have another a company that I worked with and since 2015, that they have a membership box, right? That comes out on a quarterly basis. You know how big membership boxes are right now. How many of you do something like, I use Butcher Box, which I get every month, or people get like clothes shipped to them every month from, like, I think it's called Stitch or something like that, or things like that, right? Like, but what if you could create, like, or you have like organic face stuff or things like that, right? So then you need to learn how to create your product or your program that's actually going to sell. So to do that, you have to know who you are, your expertise, and what you want to be known for, and then how to create a program or a product that encompasses all of your gifts, or how you can layer things on and where to start, right? Because then you can start somewhere and then move up to the next steps. Another one that is really powerful is your marketing, right? So in the business piece is marketing. This is how you name yourself. How do you become a local celebrity? How do people find out who you are? Are you going to be doing Google ads and Facebook ads, or are you going to do word of mouth and referral? Or there's all these different ways that you market. I do a lot of affiliate marketing or JV marketing, meaning that like, I just did what was called Quantum Miracles Mastery docu-series. That docu-series, I interviewed 30 experts in the science and spirituality world from all around the world, and we put out a 7-day event that allowed us to reach. It was 1 million people that we reached. And yet for me, it was marketing, because what did that do? It brought in a whole new slew of people that had never heard of my work, that were able to then come to me. Notice if you're on somebody's email list, or somebody like that, and you notice that they're promoting someone else's thing, right? That's affiliate or JV. That's marketing too. So marketing is not this like sleazy whatever. It's about serving people and being able to get out to them in a bigger way. And then my favorite is like speaking at events. Like, I'm speaking here, right? Or I'm doing events. And so we want to have that piece of it. So when you want to create impact, the first pillar of it is your business training, your masterpiece training. And my first masterpiece training, what a holistic MBA called core training, for me, I spent $5,000 for a 4-month training program where we got weekly videos, and we had to do weekly work, and I was able to build that. And then I think we had a call where we would have people that would come in and they would help you to put things together, but it wasn't with our it was with one of their coaches. So that piece of it, right? You have to have that. The next piece that I find super powerful and important, the second pillar of understanding how you want to find your purpose, create impact in the world, is through your spiritual and personal development. And why I find this to be so important. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of these 3 pillars. And I want you to stay on, because at the end, I'm going to tell you about how you can we're going to go through an exercise. I'm going to actually help you start out right now, and help you with where you're at in your business right now or in your purpose to really get clear on some things and get some clarity. And then I'm going to give you an offer at the end for a free strategy session with one of my amazing coaches, so that you can figure out the next step in your business and in your life and things like that. So I want you to stay on so you can really find out how to share that with us. So pillar number 2 is your spiritual and personal development, right? Spiritual and personal development. And what does that mean? So that means that I don't care how much business training I give you. If you don't do the personal work to work through your blocks that are keeping you from actually going through the next step, then guess what? It's never going to work. You have to shift your vibration, your energy. This for me is my quantum miracles work. It is understanding that to be able to have a successful, purpose-driven impact in the world, that you must be able to you must be able to completely shift and shift on an inner and core level, right? Think about it. They say that like with the core training that I did, and I've studied out with a lot of business people. I went to Business Mastery, and there was 5,000 people there, and they say of those 5,000 people, right, like maybe half of them will actually take the work and turn their businesses into $1 million, multi-million dollar businesses. And I mean people that come there that have $1 million, multi-million dollar business anyways. But the key is understanding what is the difference between two people that get the exact same information about how to build a business, and one person takes it and actually turns their business into a 6-figure, multiple 6-figure, 7-figure business, and the other person fails. It's the personal and spiritual development side. It is the going through your own blocks. I work privately with entrepreneurs and business owners and things like that. And when we do in our private, one-to-one business and coaching, I would say in our 4 months of time together, probably 50% of that is spent in the spiritual and personal development side. I just recently worked with a woman who owns a hair salon, right? And she's been working with me privately to grow her. She was working on it to grow her business, right? But we did all of this deep personal work around her, and in just the first month, her business it tripled, like income just changing, right? Like because she's doing the personal work. And we weren't even focused on the business side of it yet. We talked a little bit about the business side, put some organization and plans and structure into place, but that's it. Right? It was the personal things that actually shifted her into the next level, that allowed her to bring in new clients and new income. And so but most of the time when we hear people talk about business trainings, they don't talk about that piece of it. So if you're having a business or looking to create impact or want to go international or want to just help your community, that business piece and that yang energy is really important. But the next piece is really understanding this yin energy and how do you heal yourself. And so quantum miracles is really about shifting into your personal development, things like that. So what are you doing right now for your own spiritual development, right? What are you doing to shift into a new space? Because I think that's one of the most important things that you need to do. And so that's what I did when I went from in 2013, when I started the business trainings, the core training with Holistic MBA. I then went on to sign up for their year program, because the year program included TCM, which is transformational coaching method, NLP, like all of these other things that allowed me to break through my own stuff that was standing in the way of me getting to the next piece in my business. And I was also doing a lot of personal development work and healing work on the side too. And I kept doing that work, and it's brought me to where I am today. The third piece of the pillar that I believe is necessary is some sort of training right? So in 2010, when I went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, I decided to take a course and train a certification that really allowed me to know how to work with people, how to work with clients, because I wanted to have a service-based business. I wanted to have a business where I helped people. But I've even worked with people that even um, if you're not working in a service-based industry, I have had attorneys and people that are accountants who are not necessarily working one-to-one with clients as in coaching, but going through and doing a certification or a training that allows them to create deeper breakthroughs for themselves and for their clients. And how do you create a transformational experience instead of an informational experience for your clients? How do you have them to have a bigger breakthrough? How do you allow them to completely shift and change at a core level? And that also, that change allows you to shift and change. So at the academy, we have what's called the Intuitive Intelligence Certification, and what we teach in that are actual training and coaching and healing techniques that you learn how to use them so that you can use them in your own life. So instead of like with Quantum Miracles, you're just coming in and getting the healings and doing the work and learning how to step into the field. In an actual training where you get to learn how to not only apply those to your own life, but then you can help them. I've had people that have helped them change their whole families by doing that. But if you are in a service-based business, or you have a healing thing, like so many people, like right here, Laura says that she's starting a life coaching business specializing in spirituality and wellness. I can guarantee that most likely she's taken some sort of coaching certification or spirituality or wellness certification or training, or even if it's not a certification, so that she can hone her skills. For me, I started out as a health coach, and then I took trainings in TCM, which is transformational coaching method, NLP. I then went in and studied quantum physics. I took trainings in neuroscience. I have now got certifications in cognitive behavioral therapy, and I've gone and studied with gurus and different things like that. So I've taken all of that stuff and actual trainings so that I could learn it, not just be it for myself, but learn it so that I could then teach it, right? Like help others to break through it, help others to have that experience. Because whether I'm helping somebody create a business, or helping them with trauma, or helping them to have a breakthrough, having that training is really impactful. And so that includes, healing what is stuck. Right. So these last two are the yin energy, the quantum miracles, the personal development, the trainings on the ways to help your clients break through. Includes healings for what is stuck, the trauma, shifting the mindset, right? Or I could say even going on a deeper level, it's way beyond mindset. And the basis for helping your clients to do the same. This is the transformation and the creative. It's the flow and the energy. Manifesting, and where inner confidence reigns and you strengthen mentally and emotionally. This is that yin, right? That feminine flow, the energy and the beliefs, connection to something greater, the manifesting even. So if you want to rise in your divine power or build a business with purpose, then you really need to have these three pillars in some sort of way for yourself. And what will that allow you to do? Well, first off, when you show up as your highest self by doing the work, you feel more confident in putting yourself out there. One of the biggest things that I hear from people that are trying to find clients or market or that already have a business, because I work with a lot of people that already have businesses, and they're like, I want to know how I'm stuck in like the 50,000 to 6-figure range or something like that, and I want to really know how to scale. What's the confidence that's keeping you from that? And then your energy will attract the right people to you to help you to grow, and then you can serve your clients from a place of deep love and deep self-love. And then on top of that, what happens is I say impact equals income. The more lives that you impact, the more income that you will create. And that's really powerful. So, healing your trauma, it really allows you to do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to walk you through a little process here to get you kind of moving in to really understanding your secrets to success, your purpose, and what you've defined as success. Because if you want to have a purpose-driven business, or if you want to have a conscious business, or you're looking into that next step, we want to really kind of find out who you are. So take a moment, and I want you to think about, for yourself. And this doesn't mean, when I say what are your secrets to success, I don't mean success in your business. I mean success in your life. Like, look back over your life, because you are where you are today because you've been successful at a few things. What are your gifts? What are your secrets to success? What principles have you applied in your life that have helped you get to the place where you are now? I work with a lot of people that are super, super successful corporate people that work in corporations that then want to then turn in and have a conscious business. And I'm like, well, let's take where you were been really successful in, as a corporate employee, and what made you successful in that area. Maybe you're a super successful mom or a super successful dad, or you're really great at a sport, right? Or there's all these different things. Where is your secret sauce? The secret that to your success in your life so far. I have a lawyer that I worked with a couple of years ago out of England, and she wanted to quit doing law, and she had gone to IIN, and it was a doTERRA rep. And she came to me to work one-to-one to help her build a business. And so we started looking at what were your secrets to success as a lawyer that we can now apply to what you want to create with a health coaching business. And created her own sacred formula, right? Her own consecrated process out of that. So what we ended up coming up with is she ended up creating something called the Mentusha method. And Mentusha means the mint life in Italian. And so, and so the Mentusha method, what ended up being her sacred process is she worked with law students to help them reduce stress and to get through and healthy in their bodies. And that was her ideal audience, right? So we're looking at ideal audience, and we got all of this from looking at her secrets to success. And so she ended up with this amazing program, and she would teach something called brain bliss, which was a type of meditation that she used in her own life to be super successful as a lawyer. So take a few moments and think about, what are your secrets to success? What principles have you applied in your life that have helped you get to the place you are now? What do you think is the key to creating a happy, prosperous, and successful life? Take a few minutes, maybe jot down some ideas, share them in the comments, whatever you feel, because I'd really love to know, what you have to say around that. And then we're going to use that to start to work on your masterpiece message. Just take a few moments. Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, let's see. So Colleen says, creating systems and communication have worked well for me in my prior business. Awesome. Great. And so Colleen, tell me a little bit about, if you can share in the comments and let me know, what are you considering? Like, do you have a business right now? Are you wanting to create a business? Because if you have a way with creating systems and communication, it's going to be super easy for you to be able to create a system in your new business, and then in what you're doing, and be able to layer in the missing pieces and the things, and or help other people, right? Like there's a lot of people out there that have no idea how to create systems and communicate, and maybe part of what you share and how you help people in your next business is teaching them how to do that super important thing. So what are your, anyone else would share what you're trying to build my hypnotherapy practice after having been a real estate agent appraiser for 35 years. Beautiful. It's funny, I've worked with several real estate agents in the past that it seems like a lot of them are wanting to move into healing businesses. I actually have somebody that she does real estate and still decided to keep her real estate business, but she also does spiritual coaching and things like that. And she has decided that she brings the spiritual work into working with when she's selling houses. I know your appraisers are not quite the same thing, but when she's in selling houses, so it's super fascinating. But there's a way. So hypnotherapy. So if you are creating a hypnotherapy practice, then we want to look at how we can implement your strengths as being able to create systems and communication and build that into your practice so that you have something that flows easily for you. One of the things with people that do hypnotherapy, I also work with a lot of psychologists and doctors and people that own yoga studios or things like that, where they're working dollars per hour, right? Where you're getting paid $150 for an hour session or something like that, and how we teach them how to create transformational packages and work with people and create an experience so that the person that they're working with gets the most benefit and the hugest transformation, and yet and the coach, the hypnotherapist, the psychologist, the things like that, they are able to have an income where they're not stuck working with people 10 hours a day because they're working for that dollars per hour. Because when you give people transformation, transformation is the most valuable thing that you can give someone, and people will pay heftily for it. I know and have paid for 20, 30, $40,000 for a shot for transformational work. We have retreats and programs that people will come spend a day for a healing transformation, and will spend 5 figures on that. And they have the biggest transformation of their life, and that goes on to shift everything. And yet I'm not sitting and working every day, needing to work with somebody for an hour and having to make money off of that hour. And besides, how the brain works is, if I tell you that something costs $150 an hour, and your brain computes that and says, okay, over how many hours and how many things like that, right? And then they're looking at, well, how much am I getting out of it on an hourly basis? Instead of, when you share with somebody, it's 80% of everything is about the way that you're going to transform somebody's experience. And then from that, you look at it and say, okay, over a period of time, how can I do this and that? Okay, so we have here, it says, I'm trying to expand my web design business, right? And so when you're looking to expand, the thing is web design is there's so many people out there that do web design. So what we have to look at for you is, how do you separate yourself from everybody else that does web design? What is different about your work? And how do you find the clientele, right? So a good way about that is like, who can, I would suggest, like, who can you partner with? Who can you affiliate with that have your ideal clients that need web design? And then create packages for them where you also get a monthly. You can do it where they get a monthly, you create maybe their website, right? Which websites can go anywhere from, I've seen them, $1,000, $2,000 up to $50,000 for a website. And then there's a monthly fee afterwards, right? For someone to maintain that website for you. But you could also, around just doing web design is just a very technical thing. You could create, like, I have my marketing people, or I should say, not my marketing, but my Infusionsoft people that I work with. I have an Infusionsoft people that specifically worked with Infusionsoft that I work with for a while. What did they do? Not only did they implement and put campaigns into my Infusionsoft, but they did coaching with me too around the right ways to use campaigns and things like that, right? And so that, because it was a package, was a lot more than the $50 an hour maybe that somebody would charge for creating Infusionsoft campaigns, because they're giving me the coaching. So you look at, like, how else can you expand around your web design business? to offer more. And then where's your biggest challenge? Is it finding clients? Is it, those types of things? Great. So Colleen, what you want to build is a transformational experience. Absolutely. That is my favorite thing. That's one of my favorite things that I teach people. And a lot of my private clients that I've worked with is we've built these, I call it your consecrated or your sacred process. Remember when I said up in the business piece, when we're talking about the four things that you need in the business pillar are your message and your audience, create a program or product that sells. That program or product could be a transformational experience, right? And how do you do that? Like I have clients that offer transformational experiences that range. Some people have programs that are 3 months long that are $3,000, and some have programs that are 3 months long that are $30,000. Or you could do a 1 day thing, or you do like, I do one-to-one in-person private retreats where somebody will come and stay with me for a day, 3 days. I've even done a week, and, walk them through, and we go to cool places in the world like Bali. And, right now you can come to California. I'm going to Mexico. Maybe someone wants to come meet me in Mexico, but you can create these transformational experiences. But to do that, you've got to understand you want to be something more than just a hypnotherapy, have a hypnotherapy practice, right? I don't call myself a life coach, or, I call myself a business strategist and a soul and business strategist, but we have a company and we have a program called Quantum Miracles. Now, if I just called Quantum Miracle, I was going to teach you how to manifest, or if I had this certification and we didn't, right? You see how we've created a branding and all these things around it to allow people to understand they're going to have a transformational experience, Colleen. And then again, both with the web design, with the hypnotherapy practice, looking at marketing, right? How do you make yourself known? How do you become a local celebrity? I love that. A hypnotherapist to bring joy back to people's lives. A hypnotherapist. Oh, that's fantastic. Love it. And so we can expand, you can expand on that. And that's really amazing. So the next, let's talk about really understanding our vital needs, your mess to your masterpiece, right? I call it the masterpiece. So, you've been put on this world to help people. And so that's a huge part of your business. And you also know sharing your message and creating an impact can be really hard. So what I want to know is, what is your message? Like, so I'm going to say, if you had 1 minute to stand on the stage and share something with the world, what would you say? And I don't care what your business is, whether you're in web design, whether you're in a hypnotherapist, whether you are a coach. If you don't have a message, because your message is going to make you different than everybody else is doing something similar to you. You are the cage and the key, and you can set yourself free. Ooh, you are the cage and the key. I got goosebumps, Colleen. Beautiful. So I would love for you to share, you are so much more than just a mom. Yeah, you are so much more than just a mom. How many of us out there give up our lives for our children, which is, amazing, right? Like we love our kids, but we are so much more than just a mom. So Heather, I'd love to know, are you already a coach? Are you a healer? What do you want to do with you are so much more than just a mom? And so everyone else, please share. What is if you had 1 minute, I'm in the process of being certified. Okay, awesome. And so, this 1 minute, if you have 1 minute to create celebrity status and influence. So we are here sharing the journey together. Yes, we are. We are here sharing the journey together. And so how does sharing the journey together, how is that going to allow, I love what you're saying, but I want to know more. I run a business currently that caters to moms, baby programs and toddler programs. Beautiful. Okay, great. So I really want to know is, where you're expanding on that. Okay. So what I'm going to do and what I'm offering for you today, and this is just completely free. I just wanted to give you guys information. I want to step you into really understanding what you need to do to create your message, right? To really understand who you are. And so what we're going to do next, we're going to do another exercise. You're going to write down, and this is how you start to get into understanding your message, how you can shift this into the work that you're doing. And then I'm going to tell you how you can sign up for a free one-to-one impact to income strategy session where we will help you strategize around either whichever level you're at, whether you're just trying to figure out your purpose or whether you know you want to create a business but have no idea where to start, or you have a business but you're really struggling to find clients, or you have a solid foundation but you need to know how to upscale to the next level. Those are the four things. Like wherever you're at in that, we're going to give you a free one-to-one strategy session so that you can take wherever you're at and learn and really know the next steps for you specifically, what you need to do what I did, which is go from homeless, which you know you're not homeless, to an international organization if that's what you wish, or just create more impact or have more freedom, whatever that desire is for you, for why you want to find your purpose or go to the next level in your business. If you are watching on, you can look at the link below and you will see a link to schedule an impact to income strategy session. And so we're going to be giving away a few of those so that you can really hone into your skills in that. But before we do that, and you can go over there right now if you want, but that's fine. But before we do that, we're going to talk a little bit deeper into understanding your pivotal points, because this is part of your story and how you get into getting into a bigger message to become a local celebrity, and then from a local celebrity to something bigger, but really about that marketing piece. So I want you to write down 5 pivotal points in your life, 5 pivotal points in your life that have brought you to where you are now, because that is going to be so part of those things are either going to be part of the dark part of your story of the pain and how you transform, or it's part of the process of how you transform. 5 pivotal points, and then we can look at that and say you'll be able to you look at those pivotal points and see where they show up for you and how you share your messaging, your core message, right? So the message is the foundation of your entire company. Only when you have a strong core message can you confidently advance your business. You must know exactly what you stand for so that your potential clients can stand with you. And so that core, I call it a heart directive, needs to be really clear and known. And that comes from really understanding who you are, your pivotal points, and also being able to share those in a really powerful way. So I'm going to go over here real quick and grab the link for those of you that are on the Zoom call so that you can have the link also. See what's available. We have a limited amount of sessions over the next couple of weeks for you. If you want to come in and really hone into the next steps in your business, that's my goal for you, is to really share with you one-to-one and really get you to a place where you understand the best strategy for yourself, where you're at in your business. Whether you've made your first dollar or you've made multiple 6 figures, it doesn't matter. We have our most successful coaching client hit $10 million last year. They had a 8-figure business. So it's all levels, like what you can do. And they are not a service-based business at all. They are actually they provide employment. So who knows what you can actually do. So I'm actually going to put this link here. If you go to that page, if you're on the Zoom, you can reach it there. If you're on the ClickFunnels, just go to the button below. And if you're on the landing page, and if you're on YouTube, we will put the link in there for you. So I want to know now, Anybody want to share some of their pivotal points in their life, and we can help you with a little bit of your process? I can share some of my pivotal points. Obviously, I gave you some of them already, so it gave you an idea, right, of some of the pivotal points that really made a difference for me. Well, pivotal point number one was, and I have several things, but I had massive amounts of trauma from my childhood, so I'll just pick one of them. You can say, I was raped when I was 17, so it was a pivotal point for me, because without that, I wouldn't actually be doing the work that I'm doing right now. I help people, and on a trauma level, personal level, when I work with like sex trafficking and our trauma work, and our certification actually helps, is a trauma informed, and teaches people how to work with trauma and things like that. I would have never created that certification. I would have never created in the intuitive intelligence work. I would have never done the transformational healing work, if it wasn't for that pivotal point in my life. Another one was the my eating disorders and my drug use. That's what made me decide to try to heal my body, and why I went into health coaching, and that health coaching turned into giving me a coaching certificate, my first coaching certification, that allowed me to actually learn how to work with people, and really understand that. And then another pivotal point for me would have been when I took my first business training, and that was in 2013, because I learned about the business, and what to do. Okay, yeah. And so there's so like leading up, right? And then another pivotal point for me was my awakening, because that really allows me. I do transmissions and healings now. I can actually transmit healing energy and have had people heal instantaneously. So I have some here. It says, Colleen, thank you for sharing. She said she was drugged and raped at 17. It was a huge pivotal point. Another was sitting in a courtroom, and she was with while her 22-year-old son received a 7-year sentence for stealing because of a drug addiction. I just got chills, because I'm a believer in legalizing of all drugs. And if anybody's read like the new Jim Crow or Chasing the Scream, and about the mass incarceration that has to do with drug addiction, we should be helping them to heal instead of imprisoning them. So that just gives me chills, because I'm a big advocate for the change in our system. So let's see, I have another one here that says, she lost her son, or their first child, 1 hour after his birth at 38.5 weeks. Yeah. And then at that moment, I knew that I was never going to go back to my insurance career. Yeah. Right. Incredible. Like the things, but these things here are the, whether it's traumatic or whether it's beautiful, are the things that why do you want to have purpose in your life? Why are you creating a business? Like these pivotal points, when I work with it, what we do, we have a 4-month business, a group training program that we do, where we walk you through step by step into those pieces. Because if you know this and you can implement that and you can put these steps in, you can turn your business into a multiple 6-figure business easily, right? Like like understanding the things that are missing that do that, depending on where you're at. Now, some people are already at a certain place and they might need more one-to-one or private work. And if that's the case, then, you figure it out. Or maybe like, that's why we have the 3 pillars, and all 3 of our pillars are at the academy, right? So we have the business training. We do both private business training and coaching. We do group business training and coaching. We have online programs and things like that. So we have that teaches you all of those aspects, right? Everything from speaking at events to your messaging, to how to find your audience, to marketing, all of the things that I've learned through creating a successful business. And I've partnered with people around the world to really understand how to do that. So we have that piece of the academy. And then we have the quantum miracles piece. We actually just started a quantum miracles immersion, a quantum mastery immersion that started last week, that we're working with people and shifting their energy and healing on a quantum level, and around abundance and money, and not just money and abundance, but about actual physical healings and moving through. So like that. And we also have our Quantum Miracles Sacred Circle, which has been going on for 2.5 years, where we meet on a bi-weekly basis, and we go in and do the deep work. And I've seen people's lives completely shift and transform through doing that. And then we have the certification. Like if you're somebody, you're looking for the next level, maybe you're like, I was a health coach, but I needed other stuff. I didn't want to just be a health coach. And I was having people, and that was my first certification. And then I went and got these other trainings and these other certifications. So, or you're a psychologist or doctor, right? And you're looking for another way to implement and add things in. There's all these different ways. So when we have our strategy session, we'll really tell you what's the right next step for you in shifting your business, give you a step-by-step plan to really help you to create more impact and therefore create more income. And whether you work with our academy or someone else, at least you'll know what it is that you're missing, where you're missing things, so that you can find the right next step for you. So you'll notice in the comments and at the link that there is a button, and schedule your one-to-one session with our impact to income strategy session, so that we can support you in growing your business. Or if you have questions about something else, or maybe you just want to know about our programs, you can schedule in that same link, and we'll help you with that. Or maybe you want to heal some trauma that's going on, or maybe you want some help in some other way. If you use that link, it asks you a bunch of questions, and fill out those questions, and you'll get scheduled into our calendar, and we'll have a conversation with you. We'll do a strategy session, and we'll really get you to a place where you can finish 2020 in a storm. Awesome. So if you have any questions for me, I'll stay on here. And do you help others learn to become healers themselves? Yes, we do. Yeah, we have, that's one of our training programs. Yeah. Yes, the replay will stay up on the landing page for about 48 hours, maybe a little bit longer. I'll probably end up doing another class in the next week, just because, again, we had technical issues. And it seems to be just one of those things these days. So we're going to leave the replay up for you and for those that didn't make it. And then we will also probably be doing another class. So thank you so much. I would love to talk to each of you personally, or one of my coaches will be speaking with you. So schedule a session with us and really learn how to create impact and turn it into income. And I can't wait to share with you more about how to create a masterpiece in your life. Bye. Talk soon.